Yeah, they're behind you, John.
Oh, what?
Your headphones.
Yeah. Doing the headphone thing now. Why is that?
Because we are professionals.
So we can hear where our voices are. I'm doing it because I'm tired of having to edit your guys' bullshit. I just wanted to say that.
This is
Check.
Oh, hello.
hi.
You sound good.
Hello.
If I talk, sorry. If I talk like right here, I sound okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm the prime offender of talking like way back here, aren't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk right here then.
Now you can hear where your voice is. So
Yeah, that's
I
good.
have to get kind of close. I wonder if I should.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This would have been good for that library masturbator story I told
jurors.
Oh, yeah. Runaway Jury. John Grisham books.
The sexiest of all the books. I'm just going to hold my mic like this the whole night because it
Yikes.
feels cool.
I'm sorry. I put my phone right in your way.
Oh, no, you're fine. That wasn't why I did that or said that. I was saying it because I didn't want to lean forward, and this isn't very comfortable, and then I can't make eyes at you guys. Check. Why does it sound... Check. Ooh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I can hear you.
Dude,
You're listening to smooth jazz.
you'd be rolling it if you were narrating erotic books. You know that?
I've thought about it.
Except they generally want women, is my understanding. So
Yeah, but do you know a woman that can do dinosaur erotica, dinosaur screams? No,
that's true. I don't.
but you know me.
I do. How do you make a dinosaur's roar sound like an orgasm? You know?
I'm not doing it. I thought about it for like 4 seconds though. Maybe.
I assume they all probably do. They haven't proven that they don't, right?
That's true.
That's true.
And now they think dinosaurs had feathers. That's awesome.
No,
Yeah,
it's
so they're
not.
like
It ruins it
chickens.
all.
It does ruin everything.
They're like 20-foot tall chickens now rather than these terrifying Godzilla lizards, you know?
Which everything's falling apart anyway, so I'm cool with it.
There's no way to prove they had feathers. You know?
No, so I just assume they don't. Covered in scales, damn it. They're lizards.
What if they just had like long, luscious hair
Emo hair.
and perms? Like
Jerry curl.
That would be awesome. They're like giant poodles, basically.
And they're just all about, they all talk like pimps. I don't know.
If T-Rex had like, the curls like a poodle, that would be like the ultimate.
Fantastic.
They should just go with that interpretation in the next Jurassic World movie.
Absolutely. Just for no reason and not even explain it. Not even put it into the...
No.
there's no context.
Nothing.
He walks up to me. Hey, man. You looking for the white lady?
Yeah, but you smell like a dog. Did you get wet?
And that's when he pulls out a switchblade.
Yeah. Or he hits him with his cane.
I'm going to suggest that next time I go to that Ogden Dinosaur Park that I talked about a few weeks back.
Just give them all curls.
It's like you can't prove they didn't have it.
Right.
That'd be the best thing to go to jail for. Breaking into the museum and putting like wigs on all the dinosaurs.
The Brachiosaurus totally needs a mullet.
Oh, he is mullet material for sure.
Totally, yeah.
Yep.
Totally has like a pickup truck. And
Oh, yeah.
like on and
He
off
rolls coal on
girlfriend
people.
Who wears Daisy Dukes, you know?
Yep.
Lives in a trailer.
Brachiosaur is some sort of trash, man.
Well, like a bad porn stash on the Triceratops.
Yeah. Oh,
They need that.
I don't know. I'm thinking not a bad porn mustache, but like a Ron Swanson mustache, like thick and burly
thick
on
and-
the
yeah,
on the
man.
Triceratops. Yeah.
Like a Dave Butler mustache.
Yeah. Yep.
He's
I
got,
I was shaving and just kind of cleaning it up a little bit, and I was looking at my mustache, and I really didn't hit the jackpot on the mustache area. Like, I want that Ron Swanson thick. I wanted that so bad.
You'll never know until you shave the beard and just roll with the standalone stash.
I used to do the
The handlebar, like
The
the cowboy
handlebar, yeah.
stash. Yeah, I've done that before.
well, like your mustache is thick. Okay. You could shave the rest of your facial hair off and have a pretty awesome stash.
that sounds like blasphemy.
It kind of sounds like a challenge. But
It really does.
But me, like mine is barely above like teenage peach fuzz. It kind of just, I don't know, it's like a chia pet.
Like a Teen Wolf kind of thing going.
It's a pedo stash.
It is. If it was,
If you shaved your beard, you
Yeah,
have to
and
get
left
like a
it.
van with, tinted windows or
Yep.
an ice cream truck or something,
and the cruel joke that nature's played on me is like my beard only gets thickest like under my chin.
So it's a neck beard.
It could be if I let it go.
What month is it that you're supposed to have a
November.
mustache? Oh,
No shave.
No shave November. It's Movember.
oh, I got
So
an
it is
early
right
start
now.
on it, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
It's also other things in November that I've heard on TikTok. So
Yes, yes, it
but,
is.
I won't.
And I
I don't know that one.
You
I
failed.
I refuse to recognize it as a month
You
long
failed. You failed
holiday.
at 12:01 on November 1st.
And again at 12:07.
Wow.
And, well, I got those pills.
I was gonna say, what are you? Is that the rock star talking? The rock star in National Geographic.
Kind of rock star now.
I think I'm piecing this together now.
Yeah.
Something with Sears catalogs and alone time in the
Right.
bathroom.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Jerry
At the
curled,
library.
Yeah.
Jerry curled dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not lasting the whole month.
There we have it. We have the dino orgasm.
It was very short.
I'm gonna audition you on ACX without you knowing for all these like weird ass erotica books,
That's going to be fantastic when I start getting all the acceptances.
like Ephosaurus Rex and things like that.
Please tell me that's our true title.
It will be.
It is now.
You're going to write it, aren't you?
Now.
Under a pen name.
Like Burly Backside Johnson.
Oh, I almost said your last name. That was close. I had a name for you, but I can't say it.
You can say it. I think people have figured it out by now.
I don't know.
I'm Batman.
Oh.
After he's let himself go and become Mexican.
It's
do you
something that just
become?
happens when you just let yourself go, or
You're like, ay caramba.
Oh, all you have to do is speak the language, and that makes you okay.
I'm pretty sure that doesn't qualify as speaking the language. I know a few phrases, you know.
It sounded really authentic to me.
Yeah, sure it did. Well, welcome to Dysfunctional Adults. I like that prologue we had for 10 minutes. I hope that does
I'll
get
cut it out.
included. No, it
Yeah.
was funny.
It was funny.
So, welcome to Dysfunctional Adults, the comedy podcast where we share weird news and gripe about being middle-aged dads. I'm kind of mixing it up here. We are Gen Xers that are depressed and past our prime.
Bitter, cynical.
Cynical, and buried and mired in debt. But that's what makes this podcast so much fun.
Our pockets are full of mothballs, as are our wallets.
I owe my pockets mothballs. That's how far
Wow.
in debt I am. I know.
there's like IOUs in your wallet.
I owe you, Jason.
I owe you, Jason, $20. The last time I borrowed.
Don't know where I'm going to get it, but
Yeah. But so welcome. What have you guys been up to this week?
ADHD.
Yeah? Is that like a new video? Or?
No, I'm just I have not been paying attention to anything basically all week. It's been great.
You've been hitting the TikTok really hard?
Okay,
Because
so
that's
I have
really
been
good for ADHD.
I have been ticking a little talk. I've also been watching a ton of Modern Family,
Oh, yeah?
binging that kind of.
That's an acquired taste, but if you've seen a few of them, it gets pretty funny. There's some
Oh,
funny
yeah.
characters on that show.
Absolutely. The father and the son, Luke and Phil, just crack me up with how dumb
Yeah.
and funny they are. But and the show's got some heart too, you know.
Yeah,
It's pretty good. I've been an emotional wreck for the past couple of weeks, so I like cry at some of the episodes, and I'm like, am I supposed to be crying? Like, would a normal person cry at this? Because I don't know.
That's okay. I think that's normal, you know.
Yeah, probably.
You've been traveling the world, though. You've crossed the country and come back again.
Yeah. Oh, the flight back, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh gosh. I sat there and I was already upset because I had to leave my son. And then I keep feeling somebody's foot go right into my ass crack over and over again. And
Like
I kind of get a.
Jason?
Yeah. And I expected
There's like
it to
some
be,
like
but when I
60-year-old
turned
man
around,
smiling at you across the aisle on the
Yeah.
plane.
like he's got really long legs. But I turned around, so it's this dad and his two kids, and it was the beginning of the flight, so I'm like, okay, cool, they'll get all settled, it'll be fine. No. Throughout the entire 4-hour flight, I tried to sleep 2 times, and like right as I'm about to drift off, she shoves her foot in my ass again. And it keeps happening. And at one point I look back, the father's asleep. I was going to ask him to say something to her.
Excuse me, your daughter's foot is in my ass.
Yeah. Could you please take it out? And
And put
I'm
it
not
in your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Before I put mine in yours.
Yeah. Oh, you know how aggressive I am. That's exactly what I'd say. But he was definitely bigger than me. But I looked back and he's asleep, and I caught her eye for like a second, and I just kind of stared at her for a second. And she looked a little scared, especially because I was wearing, the movie They Live from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I had the mask of the aliens, of what they look like when you put on the special specs. That was my face. So I'm staring at this little girl, and I'm thinking she's probably 8 or 9, right? So old enough to know better, because it's getting to be a bit much. She's like shoving over and over into my ass, and like I don't know what to do. And I'm not going to wake her dad. I'm too nice, I guess. Anyway, so I'm trying to watch a movie. I'm trying to sleep. Finally, she kicks me like really hard. So I just turn around, and I know her dad's asleep, but he's not. He's gone.
Yeah.
So I took this opportunity to bully a 9-year-old girl, and I just stared at her so hard. And I was not, my eyes were about to start watering. I was just waiting for her to look away, because we were just like staring at each other. And I'm like, okay, this bitch is going to give up. I know she is. And she does right at the last minute, like right as I was about to like lose a tear. She gives up and looks away. But then I turn back around. She kicks I had my armrest up. She kicks it down. Like, she's starting to bully me back, right? And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm an adult, right? I can handle this. So shove it up really hard. And then she's kicking her feet into my seat again. So I'm like pushing her feet with my hand, like my hand's down by my ass, and I'm just pushing her feet. And she won't let up. The flight ends, finally. And I hear her talking. And for somebody that's 8 or 9 years old, she doesn't talk very well. So it turns out I was bullying like a mentally challenged little girl over the fact that she couldn't keep her feet to herself for 4 hours. And I don't know how to feel. I feel conflicted, you guys. I don't know if I'm a bad person or not, but
you're running up the ramp, what is that called? That connects to the plane.
Oh, yeah. The Skywalk or whatever.
Yeah, and you just come up behind her, just shove her down, and then run away.
No, do that thing
grab
where
her
when
wheelchair and throw it off the ramp.
Oh, that could have been the case.
I win.
No little 8-year-old girl's going to get me down.
Guys, can you come bail me out? No, that sucks, though, because, like, that's the worst situation, being trapped for 4 hours. Can't move away, and
too chicken shit to say anything to the dad. Like, that's my own fault. I know this.
Yeah, but you know how some parents respond. They're like,
right. And that's
what
I was afraid of.
They'll blame you,
right.
And that's, I guess we can't assume that, but if she's acting like that, who knows what the parents are like.
That was kind of my thinking. Like, why wasn't he taking care of these kids in the first place, making sure they weren't doing things like that? Because it was the entire time. You can't tell me he didn't notice.
Yeah, and I don't know. I worry about that. Like when my kids were little, I would really worry about like their manners and things like that. And, and I'd make sure to correct them if they were doing things that were rude.
Right, but, like by screaming at the top of your lungs at them in public, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird though. I had some random kid kiss my knee at a baseball game a couple years ago. There was like a little kid like in front of me. He kept turning around, like reaching over and like squeezing my knee or like just being weird. And then he like bent over and like kissed my knee, and I looked at him and was like, no. And then his dad looked at him and got really mad and started yelling at him and made him apologize to me and stuff. Like, I kind of felt bad because his dad really laid into it.
Like a little more than was necessary.
But yeah, that was weird. What do you say?
I'm trying to imagine where his mind was, imagination
John
land.
Has,
you know
like,
what I mean?
hairy knees, so maybe he felt like he was kissing a peanut or something.
Yeah, or maybe he just really liked
I'm wearing
Bigfoot.
shorts, so I definitely felt it.
But you're like, no, but your mom can do that. That's what you should have said to the kid.
There are so many ways to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Are there times where you say things like that out loud and it's like too late, it already comes tumbling out of your mouth?
I've gotten pretty good.
You're pretty good at. Okay, I'm just curious if I should ever go out to dinner with you or be in public with you at all.
I think it's good that I don't drink.
Because then everything would come flowing out.
Yeah.
My daughter Lizzie is a lot like me when it comes to her sense of humor, and she has no filter. So I can only imagine drunk Jason's probably like 9-year-old Lizzie, or there's her last name. Bleep that for me.
I can bleep that. Yep.
9-year-old Lizzie, who would walk up to a black guy in Walmart and say, "You're black."
Right.
Or there was an amputee in a wheelchair. So like, Mom, he has no legs.
Yeah. Charlie needed to go up to this woman the other day before I took him. He was with my mom, and he insisted he needed to go tell this lady, it's okay. It's not that you're fat. It's that you're pregnant. And the lady was pregnant.
Oh, she was.
She definitely was, according to my mom. But my mom didn't let him go do that. But he just felt he needed to go make sure she knew.
That's kind of cute, but also very scary.
I know. And that's why I'm glad he's with his mom now, so she can deal with it.
My son had one, like, we're in a line at a movie theater once when he was probably like 5 or something, and the guy ahead of us was, cue ball bald, and my son just started laughing hysterically, and I'm like, what? He's like, that guy's bald! Look at him!
Like, son, that's going to be you in 50 years.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you're not going
50.
bald.
I'm thinning a little, but my younger brother is completely bald, so it's in my genetics somewhere.
See, and I can't imagine what he even looks like now. I remember your brother, and that's the face I remember. So now I'm imagining him totally bald with that face.
Well, yeah, I remember he had the long, like, skater hair. He's completely bald. He's got glasses, beard. Isn't your brother bald now, too?
Yeah. He started losing it around 18
so.
years old.
Yeah.
And he had long... he looked like a really skinny Jesus for a while with his long hair.
My brother, like, when he was married, him and his wife would send Christmas cards every year of, the two of them. And you could see it was like a flip book of him, his hairline receding more and more every year. If you put them all next to each other and flip through it, you can watch his hairline just go.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, by the time he was 30, he was pretty much bald.
Do you have all of those cards now? And you could, like, make a flip book out of it and give it to him for Christmas?
That'd be funny to go, like, digitize it, so you can send it, like, as a GIF.
Only if he has a good sense of humor about it. Some people don't, obviously.
I think he would, but yeah.
I had a brother who, when he was dating, his hair was going really quick. This is Bradley. And he told me that was his countdown to get married. He had to hurry and get married before he lost his hair.
Smart.
So it was pretty funny. But
yeah, because you look really weird running around like, where's my hair? Can't find it.
So anyway, so what y'all been up to this week? So we started with you.
I bullied a little girl. What did you guys do?
That's
well,
we'll go to John next.
Well, it was Halloween, obviously. And so the week before Halloween is always my pumpkin carving week. My kids all wanted, the dinosaur-themed pumpkins, so I...
Ephosaurus Rex?
Yes, so I carved all of those.
I sense a theme emerging.
Oh, no.
But see, while you're doing your erotic... audiobooks, and Jason is writing them. Since apparently my only talent is carving pumpkins, I could open like an erotic pumpkin carving service.
I like this idea a lot.
I'd have parents coming up to me like, hey, can you carve this Pikachu for my son? I'm like, hey, anatomically correct Pikachu coming up.
Do it.
Or like I'd return these pumpkins to this guy. He's like, when I said I wanted Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, I didn't say I wanted them to be having sex with each other. It's like, hey, well, you didn't say you didn't want them to either, so...
You got to be specific.
That's kind of on you.
Yeah.
Silence is acquiescence.
And you're also an artist. When you feel the need to be more artistic, you do it. That's part of the deal.
Yeah.
It's expressing passion,
Right.
You have to go for the passion. No, I've seen your pumpkins. They are actually, and not the erotic kind.
You haven't seen those pumpkins.
But no, you've got talent. It's too bad you can't get paid for it. You're really good.
Actually, he probably could if he just sat outside of a Smith's and like had some of his pumpkins he already carved and was like, pumpkin carving $5 or whatever.
That's actually not a bad idea. You could go to like a fair or something and do that.
Of like Mario and Luigi touching themselves?
They're touching each other.
Or each other.
I have a feeling you'd only be able to get away with that one time and then you'd be gone. Your table would be gone.
It depends on where he goes.
Yeah. Depends on who's voting. I would win. They would give me the ribbon and then never let me come back.
Right.
It's like, here's your
just
ribbon.
To get you out
get
of
the
there.
hell out of here.
You're not allowed at the farmer's market anymore.
So yeah, the week before Halloween, every week is me carving pumpkins.
Do you enjoy it though, or is it like...
I do, but I mean, it gets exhausting by the end because each one probably takes like 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Because they're intricate.
They are.
And
they're very detailed.
So, it's every day for 3 or 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
Because we always stop at the pumpkin patch like the weekend before Halloween, and they each pick out their pumpkins, and then I spend...
We'll make sure to post pictures of said pumpkins on our Facebook page. They really are impressive.
They are.
So,
I think.
And I can get you more pictures of them. I just sent you
That'd
the
be
ones
great.
from like this year. I could some from
Yeah,
past
as you
years
can
I still have. But.
see, I put a lot of work into my pumpkin as well.
Your pumpkin's awesome. I love yours.
Saddle lantern.
We gotta post Zach's one as well.
I'll put it up there. They'll know whose is whose.
Just mention this one is Zach's. This is not John's. I don't want to be associated with that one.
I usually carve pumpkins with my kids, but this year, like the Smiths that's by me, their entire lot of pumpkins were like diseased. They all had like bumps on them, different like colored bumps. They look like they had leprosy.
I'm telling you,
That's
it's the
actually
end of the world.
a type of pumpkin, though. They sell those type.
all
that
they had.
pumpkin
Pumpkins?
They
patches.
didn't have normal pumpkins though.
Oh, really?
All they had was the diseased like acne.
Leper lantern?
Leper lantern. It should have gone with that.
Like the syphilitic pumpkin with genital warts all over him.
It was gross. Like it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, those are always the last ones left of the pumpkin patches we go to. Also,
ugly.
Yeah,
Those are the pumpkins you have to take to the doctor to get those genital wart shots.
Yeah.
Like
but if I was ever going
vaccine or whatever.
to carve like leper pumpkins or
That would be
syphilitic
the way to go.
pumpkins, those are the ones you want.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that this year, but I actually don't like carving pumpkins because the thing that grosses me out is the innards.
Like, ew, it's sticky.
You don't have to eat it right out of the
You know
pumpkin.
what? That's how I
You're
was
just like
taught.
pounding it down.
No,
Whatever.
my hands always like burn afterwards.
Oh, maybe you've got an allergy.
To pumpkins?
Yeah. You can be
possible.
allergic to anything, man.
That's very, very true. So
Yeah.
anyway.
I'm allergic to work.
Yeah, so am I. But I just self-medicate, with
Don't
lots of
we all?
cheeseburgers and
So,
Yeah.
what about you?
Yeah.
oh man.
Well,
Well, I was with you. We went to the park Evermore.
Yeah.
I dressed up for the first time in like forever with my wife Megan. She was a beautiful gypsy, and I was some kind of top hat wearing, Renaissance cane wielding warlock. I guess I don't know. I was something.
If you guys don't know what Evermore is, it's like a replica medieval village kind of in American
It's like
Fork.
a fantasy theme
It's
park.
like a Renaissance fair almost. They have
Yeah.
like sword fighting, archery.
Oh, that's cool.
They have
throwing.
knife throwing. They had a
like
sucker.
they had a
professionals
circ-
doing, or you
No, you
guys?
get to
no,
do
you
it.
guys you get to do it.
Oh,
And they had like a circus with like a magician, jugglers, and aerialists, stuff like
a,
that. So
a real magician,
Yeah, he was good.
he was pretty good, yeah.
like Merlin, like Merlin.
Like
an
real magic. No, he was an illusionist.
illusionist type of magician.
okay.
Yeah.
I was really stoked for a second. Can you see?
But yeah, Jason's there in his tights and his cod piece. That
Yeah. Well, you know what? You think
That's hot.
it's supposed to go on the inside, but it goes on the outside. So
Got a point.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We then
Sounds fun.
We went out to eat, and that was good. My kids are too old to do trick or treating, according to them. So we really didn't do anything. I got
Well-
go ahead.
no, well, this is also another one with you. The week before, we did the escape room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We forgot about that. That was a good time.
Nice.
Because we decided to do like a group activity, and escape rooms involve less walking than haunted houses. So we figured this would be right up Jason's alley, so he wouldn't hurt himself again like the last time I went to the haunted house with him.
Oh no! Please tell me you didn't get hurt.
I didn't.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
There's a pre-existing back injury count because my back hurt the whole time.
You're just trying to get free tickets.
But no, it was fun.
I just drop on the floor. Ow! This puzzle hurt my brain.
I'd been trying to get my wife to do an escape room for a while now because I've thought for a long time it sounded fun. She was always really nervous about it. She's like, well, what if we can't get out? I'm like, honey, I'm sure they're not full of the skeletons of the people who couldn't figure out the puzzles.
That's high stakes, man.
What I was more afraid is that they'd have like a triumphant door that you exit from if you successfully solve the puzzle,
Right.
and then like a doggy door that you have to crawl on all fours through like cobwebs to get out if you
That's a
don't.
really good idea.
And like all the people waiting to use the escape room can spit on you and throw rotten fruit on you as you like crawl on your knees out the back door. But
I like
Losers. Yeah, I like that
real
idea.
high stakes.
but
But the really,
Anyway-
sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, there's a horror movie where for an escape room.
Yeah.
Themed
Yeah.
thing.
It's got what's her name in it from Deborah Ann Wall from Daredevil in it, I think. She's the hot blonde, plays Karen.
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen it. I don't remember
I
anything.
just remember the hot blonde. So.
Yeah.
But
All right.
anyway, the escape room was a lot of fun, but the ending, they gypped us.
Yeah, they did.
They forgot to reset it. So the last key was not there. We figured out everything with like 10 minutes to spare, but then like the last cupboard that we figured out how to open up was supposed to have the final key to open up the final button that we push, which opens the doors to get out
to victory.
Right.
They left out that key. They've never put that key back, and so we ended up timing out
with no compensation whatsoever.
No, and they're like, okay, well, you guys ran out of time. It's time to leave, basically.
What the hell we did?
We had like 10 minutes left before we ran out of time because they give you an hour.
Right.
And the last room that you go in, I think, is when they take the picture of your group, like the triumphant, yay, we did that thing. And we never got that because we timed out because they forgot to add the last stupid key, which we figured out how to get. It was just empty.
And they're not going to admit it because I'll bet it was a bunch of teenagers running it, right?
Well, actually, no. The lady's like, I'm really sorry. That's all we got.
Yeah, she admitted that, we must have forgot to put that.
Key. And like
we forgot to reset that from the time before.
Like, this is your job. This is your one business.
Can you give us the key now so I can open the door and see what's in there?
Yeah, she's like, no.
She just kind of laughed like I'm joking. No.
It's like, what? I haven't put a review out yet, but I'm going to.
I had fun until that, but I was really disappointed with that because we beat it, damn it, and we got nothing to show for it.
In spite of Bryce being there, we beat it. No, I'm just kidding.
I thought you were going to say that about yourself.
Can't even imagine
I was
being
supervising.
one of those.
I really contributed nothing to the effort.
Like, no, you were there too.
You helped by staying out of the way.
I think I helped solve like one puzzle, and then I just watched, and I pressed a button.
When we said treat it like a real life version of Zelda, I think Jason took it too literally. He's her blowing holes in the walls with bombs and like firing arrows at everything that moves.
They get upset when you bring your own bombs and arrows.
Yeah, we're like, where'd you get those? Why do you just happen to have those on you?
I got like a police battering ram. I'm just like hitting at the wall. We're like,
just in case.
On the microphone.
That works.
Sir, please stop that.
But until they gypped us on that last key, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and I'd like to do it again sometime.
Too much anxiety for me. No, thank you. And also with my aging process, apparently I'm the friend. It's probably 1 out of 3, and I'm one of them. I have to pee a lot and very urgently.
I get that.
So
we all made sure to go to the bathroom before we went in.
Yeah.
Wouldn't matter. It's like 5 minutes between pees. I ain't doing any escape rooms ever again.
You might want to have that checked.
I know.
I know.
We keep talking about it.
There's a guy in the alley out there.
This is the same. We've already made this joke, except for now it's a different person
joke.
doing it.
It's for real. Like,
oh, good.
I'll go get him right now. We'll do an on the air.
We made that joke too. See, we can't. Just because it's a different guy doesn't make it funny again.
It does to me. I don't know why you guys are. Yeah, maybe this is the persistent offer. I'm like hinting at you. You know.
Oh. Well, you weren't winking at me.
Well, I think this is a great time for a commercial break, so we can, pay the electricity bill for this 1 hour.
Sounds good to me, baby.
So we'll be right back.
Welcome.
Are we doing that new segment thing?
Yeah, we are the listener mail.
Yeah. Okay. You can.
Yeah. Don't screw with the format, man. You guys trust me.
I hope you have a lot of mail.
I'm the MC, I guess.
Like I say, you could start. We can cut this, and you could just start introduce it as if I hadn't said anything.
I think it's funny that we have the banter anyway.
Made sure, yeah.
One thing that I need to tell everybody right now, and I don't know when this will air, but the McRib is back. If you like flat hot dogs with pickles and onions and the barbecue sauce from the packets they give you, now is your time.
Now's the time.
Now's the time.
Somebody just told me, I think it was my buddy Jace. He just told me that you can buy the Morningstar vegetarian rib thing, and
the morning after McRib.
The morning after McRib.
It has that effect as well.
Yeah, it does the same thing as the Plan B.
It's nice.
So, no, the Morningstar brand, they do a lot of vegetarian meals and things like that, and alternative proteins and stuff. And apparently, I think it's their like rib or something. It tastes exactly like the McRib.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Probably costs like 3 times as much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It has to.
Like, I'm just going to stick with the foam-flavored McRib.
Yeah.
Sure, it tastes like a piece of styrofoam with barbecue sauce slathered all over it.
Yum.
But I'm not a complicated man.
Your needs are met rather easily. Rather too easily.
Megan's always like, why do you like that?
And it's really a thing. It's like Stockholm Syndrome. You don't actually like it.
No, you don't. It's just, you've been abused and it's all you know.
Yeah.
We go back to what we know. So, all right, we're going to start a new segment that we're going to try and do every week, and it's not going to be a long one, but this is what we call listener mail. So even though we have a small but growing audience, we do get some feedback on our podcast, and so we'd like to share that with everybody right now. John, I think you're ready to go. Do you want to go first?
Oh,
all right, I can go first if you want. Zach, you got something ready, or okay, it's all right. It's all right. We'll just cut this. What are you saying?
Weren't we exchanging them so we surprise each other rather than reading our own? Isn't that what we said?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah, I cut that out. But
okay, well, we can do that
if you want to, because I thought we were supposed to be writing them to let someone else read. To
you're
someone
right,
else them,
and I have done
reading our own.
That's okay.
Nothing.
So I just picked this because I was going to be a smartass.
Did you?
I didn't write that. It's the Nigerian scam email.
Oh,
nice.
Do you want to read mine first?
Yeah, I'll read yours.
No, I'll read it.
I'm very sorry. All right, welcome back to Dysfunctional Adults. We have a new segment. It's something we're going to try and do every week. It's called Listener Mail. Although we have a very small audience, it's growing, and they are very vocal, and they do like to send us emails about what we cover and just those things. So I've got one right here. Let's see. It says, and we don't actually have an email address we can give out. How did we get these emails? They must have sent them to the Spotify email.
I'm panicking.
All right, well, here's the first one that we got. It says, Dear Dysfunctional Adults, I'm a 44-year-old jobless by choice divorcee with comically small non-functioning genitalia that hasn't satisfied a woman in decades. And I must say, I can't begin to tell you how happy I am that I finally found a podcast dedicated to people like us. As I hunker down in the abandoned shipping container I call home, sipping warm, week-old, unrefrigerated horse milk from a discarded big gulp cup, while I listen to your podcast week after week, I find myself nodding along to all your stories, yelling, "These guys get me," to the stray cats in the corner. Anyway, as fellow miscreants who understand willful incompetence better than anyone, is there any way I can weaponize my apathy, deviance, and get, as the judge said, deliberate disregard for basic decency and a complete, utter refusal to contribute to society in any meaningful way classified as a protected identity so I can get my parole officer off my back and reduce my ordered community service hours for those public masturbation charges? I'm sure you've all been there. Am I right? Thanks, guys. With great admiration from one of your own, Bob. Well, Bob,
woo, that's let's unpack this.
It's always great to hear from people who we've touched and apparently who like to touch themselves.
I mean, nothing's going to happen when he does. Apparently, it doesn't sound like it works too well. So
don't give up, Bob. Keep trying. Keep on keeping on. But as far as your question about a protected class, I think although that movement has gained some ground, the movement for the willfully incompetent miscreants who like to pleasure themselves publicly, I think we're still a little too early to go ahead and just be free with your expression of self-love.
So just keep it in the shipping containers.
Keep it in the shipping containers and away from elementary schools and swimming pools until that day comes when freedom is restored to your kind. So thanks for calling.
Thanks for listening, Bob.
Does anyone else have any advice for Bob, the public masturbator?
I don't even know where to start because, he is kind of our people, but in a lot of ways. Not to say anything that would dissuade you from listening to the podcast, Bob, but. Wow, man, you need to see a therapist.
I think he's kind of using our podcast as therapy. So.
Oh, well, in that case, then
there's no better form of therapy than
pick yourself up
right?
by your bootstraps, pal. You've got this.
You go, Bob.
Yeah, I remember,
Thanks
Bob.
for listening.
It's not the size that counts. It is the size that counts. So. All right, we've got another email. John, do you want to read this one that came in to Dysfunctional Adults?
Yeah. Did I read that top part or no?
No, just read the to dysfunctional adults.
Okay, this is, I am Dr. Bakare Tunde, the cousin of Nigerian astronaut, Air Force Major Abacha Tunde. He was the first African in space when he made a secret flight to the Salyut 6 space station in 1979. He was on a later Soviet space flight, Soyuz T-16Z, to the secret Soviet military space station, Salyut T-8T, in 1989. He was stranded there in 1990 when the Soviet Union was dissolved.
Wait, he's stranded on a Soviet space station?
His other Soviet crew members returned to Earth on the Soyuz T-16Z, but his place was taken up by return cargo. There have been occasional progress supply flights to keep him going since that time. He is in good humor but wants to come home.
Wait, he's still stuck up there? 89? How long is that?
32 years?
He's been in space for 32 years. Is that what I'm understanding?
On what I can only assume is a defunct spacecraft? Like, space station?
Let's see.
I think there's more to that email.
Or there's not?
It looks like he wants us to deposit some money, and he'll share it with us.
It sounds legit, right?
He actually has, looks like he has a sum of like $100 million on the space station. And what he needs is our bank account number so that he can deposit that in our bank account.
From space.
So that it will be safe when he returns.
This sounds legit. I think we should take this guy up on his offer.
Yeah, and then just in case, it sounds like he's listening from space, and so I don't really have another way of reaching him.
I mean, I want to get this Nigerian prince down from space.
I think that's important.
I am so confused, you guys.
So here's our bank account number: 54328 1069823. And that should get you the money that you need. So, or actually, that's for you to put your money in our account. So, thank you for trusting us, Dr. Tundre.
Yes, thank you so much. And keep listening, and please keep reaching out to help other space sailors.
Where are you getting your oxygen? Poor Zach. He looked completely confused.
Well, between Bob and whatever this guy's name is, I'm Dr.
Tundre.
I'm beginning to think that nobody actually listens to the podcast.
Oh, it's clearly we have look how
these are legit emails.
I don't know.
What?
And Zach actually gets listener texts. So I got one right here. It looks like it just says need SUM the @ and $2
and yes, I do. Let me just go ahead and respond to that really fast.
Ask him if he just wants, one of us or all of us.
Sorry, it took me a second. I have too much going on in my head with Bob.
I'm
sorry. No, you're fine.
So keep sending that listener mail, and we'll actually get an email address that we can broadcast. But if you want to send feedback, you can do it through Spotify, and I'm sure that's how we got these emails. Yeah, this is definitely not a staged segment of the show. I can promise you that.
I was trying to think of like my 8 different email addresses if there was one I could give out, but I can't.
Like clownpenis.com.
No, that one I would give out, but I don't have that
Happy
one. John
Honker
does.
at clownpenis.
What's that?
Happy Honker at clownpenis.com.
Right.
Sorry, Holly.
Sorry, Holly.
I'm not.
Did she ever say anything about that episode?
She thought it was funny.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
So.
It was all meant for her enjoyment. So, yeah, I don't have an email. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You must have gotten to it before I did. Did you
Yeah.
filter through all the crap and just pick out the good ones?
There was just those 2.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure we'll have more next week, right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So, all right. Moving on. Let's move on to show and tell.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready? You want to go first?
Yep.
All right. Zach's going first.
Crack.com. 13 animal facts to tickle your inner Steve Irwin. November 2nd, 2021 by J. Hall Comics and Cracked Writers. All right. Domesticated foxes didn't just get more friendly, they got cuter. the Institute of Cytology and Genetics at Novosibirsk, Siberia, because if you're going to do something top secret having to do with genetics, out in the middle of Siberia is the place to do it. But anyway, let's see, has been domesticating wild foxes by breeding ones with beneficial behaviors, friendly towards humans, docile, etc. Very much opposite of the Moscow water dog. After around 35 generations of foxes, they noticed that they started to exhibit physical traits not found in the wild, like floppy ears and tails that curled over their backs.
They're like live-action Pokemon now.
Yeah, it's adorable. I saw a video of this quite a while back, and maybe it was a news thing. I don't honestly remember what it was, but I got to see pictures of like them changing over the generations. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Did they like accidentally breed in a beagle or something? Is that what happened?
Yeah. No, they get cuter because
they started out these like twisted, hairless, chupacabra looking things.
Like one fang right in the middle.
And they became basically like live action stuffed animals.
Yeah, exactly. So they're pretty cute. There is a type of cheese you're supposed to eat while it is being eaten itself by maggots.
I've heard of this.
This is disgusting. The Sardinian cheese casu marzu is a delicacy, which is a fancy word meaning real gross. This wheel of cheese is beset by flies, which lay their eggs and make maggots that consume the cheese. People feast on the cheese, maggots and all, of their own free will. That is the most disgusting. I thought I liked cheese, but I would never try that.
It actually is illegal to serve that in Italy because that's where it's from, is Italy.
Well, at least somebody got it right. It should be illegal everywhere.
But people can make it themselves and eat it, but you can't get it at a restaurant in Italy. Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yep.
All right. Cheetahs use dogs for emotional support. In captivity, cheetahs can be quite nervous animals. To combat this, zoos started to give the cats their own canine companions, which made them feel safe. The calming influence of dogs give behavior clues to the still learning cheetah, allowing it to not fear its surroundings.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it makes sense because dogs are just so like, everything's fine, and cats are just always flipping out about something.
I know that my depression's been better since I got my dog.
Yeah. Oh, it makes a huge difference.
Yep.
My quick story, my mother, who, if this is your first time listening, who she lives with me, she...
And keeps track of your growth.
Right. Yeah. Listen to episode 1. You'll know what we're talking about. She went to Michigan for a little bit, and the cats just didn't know what to do with themselves, but they finally figured it out, and now I have 2 heavy, hot cats just spooning me all day long. It's disgusting. All right. Police arrested a parrot in India for verbal abuse. After an 85-year-old woman complained that a parrot had verbally abused her, police took the bird into custody. The owner of the bird had taught it over the course of 2 years to insult the woman, his stepmother, whenever she came around the house. The police were unable to get the bird to shout obscenities at the woman in their presence. So it knew to shut up so it wouldn't go to the clink.
All right, stitches get stitches get stitches.
Yep.
All right.
Just wait till I get home, bitch. Let's see. A small town in Alaska had the same mayor for 20 years, a cat named Stubbs. Stubbs the cat was the honorary mayor of Talkeetna after a write-in campaign from 1997 to 2017. Since the small town did not have an official mayoral office, a general store doubled as Stubbs' headquarters. Oh,
nice.
Let's see. That cat must have had a dog in its life. The average lifespan of an adult female mayfly is 5 minutes. Mayflies already have a short total lifespan at just 24 hours, but the vast majority of that time is spent as an egg and larva. Once the mayfly reaches maturity, the males have 30 minutes to find a mate, and the females have just 5 minutes to deposit their eggs before their clock runs out.
Wow.
Wow, what a boring life. But then again, much simpler than the life I've led, so I might
grow up.
I might want to come back as a mayfly.
Reproduce and die.
Yep. It's been a good life. Let's see. All right.
You've been around as long as I have. I'm a full 2 minutes older than you.
And get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
It's not true that a baby bird will be rejected by their mother if handled by a human. Sorry we have to break it to you, but your parents only told you this so you wouldn't go around picking up wild animals. The notion that birds will smell you on their offspring is unfounded, as non-predatory birds do not usually have a good sense of smell. If you see a baby bird on the ground, it's probably just in the process of learning to fly. So don't eat it.
However, human babies will be rejected if a baby bird takes it.
Right.
And then the parents
human
won't take it back. Yeah.
The father was just glad to be rid of it anyway, but the mother, it's a whole sensory
attachment thing. Yeah.
Leopards love killing and do it for fun. Not content to just hunt to survive, leopards appear to take a YOLO approach to slaughter. Of the recorded instances of leopards preying on domesticated animals, over half involve surplus killing. This is in quotation marks. Surplus killing, which involves killing and leaving the remains uneaten, sometimes with up to 50 animals dead in a single spree. That's evil.
That is pretty
sociopathic.
They're right there with otters.
They're doing it because
dolphins.
They can. All right.
Did you guys get that TikTok I sent of the dolphin attacking and
yeah.
Yes.
I'd seen that before.
forcing itself on the woman?
Reasons.
I couldn't tell. Was she laughing or screaming?
I
couldn't. Yeah, I think shock was playing a part in that.
Well, you could definitely see what the dolphin was doing. You know?
Well, yeah, yes.
Yeah, trying to play ball.
Yeah, exactly.
One bug makes a sound as loud as an orchestra with its penis.
Hey.
You want me to read that again?
Yeah, please do, because I...
One bug makes a sound as loud as an orchestra with its penis. You just looked shocked, or...
I'm just thinking my next act for America's Got Talent.
Ooh. I'll join you. Yeah. We'll see who can be loudest.
We'll be what is it? What's a trio, I guess? We don't want to call ourselves a threesome if this is the act.
I didn't hear John want to jump on this train.
He's going to be there with us.
I'll just be your manager.
The water boatman is an aquatic insect about the size of a fingernail that makes a deafening call reaching nearly 100 decibels. Holy shit. It achieves this impressive sound with a similarly impressive process known as stridulation, which is going to be in my vocabulary from now on, which involves rubbing its penis against its abdomen. I do that. I can do that. So why is this bug special? Because it does it loudest.
I mean, when I was 13 and no one was home, you know.
Yeah, lots of stridulation going on at your place.
This is when the Walmart ad shows up, the summer one with the swimsuits.
You just hear the thump, 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 thump against the belly.
Gross.
You started it.
I did.
Almost done. Ooh. Ugh. Saber-toothed cats are more closely related to possums than tigers. After dying out in the Pleistocene epoch, 10,000 years ago, the lineage of cats like the saber-toothed tiger diverted to small marsupials. If you're lucky, you can catch a glimpse of the family members to the terrifying beasts rummaging through your trash at night. Oh, well, that's kind of a sad, if they were to bring it back, and it could see what it has become, it's just going to die of depression.
Just extinction by depression.
Yep.
Aren't possums like a step up from raccoons as far as being like trash animals?
Yeah. They're actually very clean animals. They're not filthy like everybody thinks.
Possums?
And they're is it that they can't get rabies? I can't remember. They're
their body temperature.
They're immune to a bunch of shit.
Their body temperature is such that they're not very good hosts for rabies virus.
Oh, okay.
So they can get it, and I think we probably both saw the same TikTok.
Maybe.
But it's not very likely that they'll have rabies.
So it's because their body temperature is high or low?
Low.
It's low.
And
so we need to put one in a hot bath and try and give it rabies.
To get it rabid?
Yeah.
And then where are we taking it?
That's as far as I got. There are scorpions that can create dozens of offspring without a mate. That's gross. Using asexual reproduction, called parthenogenesis, 9 species of scorpion are able to make babies without any help from a partner. These broods of several dozen baby scorpions can be a single gender without leading to any issues creating more arachnids in the future. That's adorable.
Isn't that the plot twist of Jurassic Park?
Yeah, because nature found a way.
Nature found a way.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. That's what it was. You're our resident. Now that I think about it, you're our resident
Well, I just had Jeff Goldblum in my mind.
Yeah.
That's the second time he's come up.
Yep.
Tonight.
I love that man.
He's pretty funny.
The hairy frog breaks its own bones and uses as weapons. We've had this on before.
Yes, we have.
This amphibian has special muscles in its toes that allow it to snap a bone away from connective tissue, pushing it through skin to make a DIY set of claws.
Like Wolverine.
Like the Wolverine frog. Yep, we did do that.
They didn't even say it in here for some reason in this one. In
They
Crack.
should have.
If scientists ever find a way to graft adamantium to this frog's bones, we're screwed. But they didn't say that it's actually called that. Anyway, last one. Dung beetles roll around nurseries made of poop looking for a mate. I know people like this.
Isn't that like Ogden? If you go dating in Ogden?
Yeah. Gross.
I hate Ogden.
Sorry, listeners from Ogden. All 5 of you. I doubt we have.
You guys burn in hell.
Yeah. Just stay away from us. After the dung beetle finds a nice pile of poop, it rolls it into a ball and goes out looking for a mate. When he finds his better half, they bury the fecal orb and lay a single egg within it. Oh, that sounds beautiful.
It sounds kind of like some kind of magic ritual, you know?
The fecal orb.
A good name for a band.
Fecal orb?
Fecal orb.
And they play jazz.
Smooth jazz.
Smooth jazz.
Oh, gross.
The dung ball serves as protection and food for the emerging offspring.
Yeah.
The end.
All righty.
So
then.
I have an issue with
fecal orbs.
No, when you were talking about the saber-toothed cat becoming a possum, like, how do they know that? Like, they state it as fact, but they're basically just guessing, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, and Cracked is, they're given little snippets, so it's probably conjecture. It's
it's the same thing as we were talking about earlier with the dinosaurs and the feathers. Nobody knows if they had feathers.
Having Chihuahua afros or
not big ones, like not the known dinosaurs, but there's like a certain
Yeah,
type they have.
there's like
that have
imprints in the
imprints of
stone that
feather.
kind of look like they could be
It begins
feathers.
with an A, right? The axer. It's the one that you know what I'm talking about.
Axolotl?
No, it's a long name.
The bird one, the
Yeah,
Archaeopteryx.
that one.
Yeah, well, that
Show off.
one's a bird. That one's like
Okay, fine, it's a bird, but it's also a dinosaur, right?
yes,
It's a plane.
It's
it's like the missing link between birds and dinosaurs, right?
maybe. So I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think some of it's BS, but whatever. Doesn't no sweat off of my nose.
Is that the only place that the sweat?
It's the only place I sweat.
Oh, okay.
It's a weird genetic abnormality.
You should get that checked.
It just like pours water out of my nose
All the time?
It all just like goes up to my nose.
Yeah,
That's gross.
it is really gross.
I think I'll go next because John always has a good finale for me.
He's gonna sorely disappoint you this time. This is the time.
I was just gonna make like farting noises with my armpits for 5 minutes. And then that's all I got this time.
Well, then we just start calling you Zach too. I don't ever do my homework.
All right, so it's November now, and it's time to start thinking about Christmas gifts because of the shipping backups. At least that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get all my shopping done right now. So I got to thinking, like, what are some really weird Christmas presents that I've gotten? And fortunately, I've been really blessed. All my Christmas presents are pretty normal, but there are some less fortunate souls, and I'm going to share their stories with you.
Sweet.
So this is what was your weirdest Christmas gift ever? And I'm pulling this from Quora. Is that how you say it?
I think so. Yeah.
Quora. Anyway, Jean Willow says brass knuckles. Got brass knuckles for Christmas.
I used to have some of those as a kid.
Yeah, I remember.
There was that little store in Sugar House that had no problem selling those and switchblades to 12-year-old kids.
Because the dude was from Vietnam.
We had quite a collection.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had our stash.
My mom took them away from us.
Aww. Did she ever give
She
them
gave
back?
them back when we were like 18, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I had some, though, at my house. I hammered some nails into a baseball bat. I had some knives.
Yeah, we had nunchucks and all
I never learned how to use nunchucks.
Chinese throwing stars.
Fully
We had
automatic assault weapons.
all kinds of knives.
We were
had,
ready. We had
Nuclear warheads.
We had to defend our heroin.
We had so much cool stuff.
Tomahawk missiles.
So that says my brother saved up his money to buy them for me. I honestly can only remember a few other gifts that I like so much. Only he would give me such a crazy gift, knowing I'd love it. So this dude's brother bought him that.
Aw.
This person It says, when I was about 15, my parents walked into my room while I was asleep saying, "Merry Christmas," and placed a pack of Gatorade and a pair of Joe Boxer pajama pants on the floor. We're a family that can't spend much, so I wasn't expecting any presents. I thought that was the oddest pair of presents I'd ever received, but I was happy because I loved Gatorade. I'm 22 now, and this memory still continues to make me smile.
That's awesome.
So this guy, Neil Higman, says, I was friends with a girl who used to work for me. One year she bought me a washcloth with this cute little girl on it. And then he shows this picture.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
It's a cartoon representation of a woman bending over and showing off their nude behind to this guy. So it's really weird. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, no.
He says the next year, knowing that I like cooking, she bought me these.
Oh, nice.
Oh, great.
They are macaronis shaped like phalluses.
I'd eat an entire bag of those.
It'd be great to like cook those for like a bachelorette party, like make some pasta
or just like when you're having your guy friends over, like don't even tell them. Just you're like, hey, come over for dinner. And you make the mac and cheese and just bring it out and see who notices first.
Phallus and cheese.
So he says, anyone notice the theme here? Well, I did, but there was nothing that prepared me for the following year's gift.
Oh.
I think she's sending a message.
Makes sense.
And the picture is of a feminine pleasuring device, I guess.
It's called a personal massager.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I don't know why she thought of me when she bought it, but it certainly brought a smile to my face as I opened the box, but not as soon as I was home. How many bosses get such gifts from their employees? That sounds like a sexual harassment lawsuit waiting to happen.
Right?
Yes.
And if I gave out those same gifts, you know how that would go.
If you're good looking, you can give those gifts. If you're not, you can't.
So that's how I find out. Like, I don't know if I'm a 5 or a 7 or a 10, so I'm just going to give out gifts like that.
You're kind of borderline, so you're playing with fire.
Yeah.
You're rolling the dice by trying to do that.
Ironically, this week I had to do sexual harassment training. They, spoiler, don't teach you how to harass.
What?
I know. But it's kind of funny because I had to watch these like really painful reenactments of what not to do, So stupid.
You know what's stupider is that there are people that still don't effing know.
Right. So it's just kind of funny because it's like, oh, I guess I can't walk around with my wang hanging out,
Zip. Guess I don't want to work here anymore. Go back to Burger King.
I'm going to quit this daycare. Anyway, here's another one
No
from
comment.
Sarah Luke. She says, I once received a raccoon's penis bone for Christmas from my boss's daughter.
That's actually kind of cool.
Still stuck on penis bone, huh? I'll keep this brief so you can go do some Googling. You can never unsee. Jenny was a junior coworker of mine, but this was not some white elephant / joke gift exchange. No one else got a gift from her. One day after lunch, she just handed me a tiny box, thoughtfully gift wrapped, encasing a small glass vial. Inside the vial, a delicately curved bone. What is it? I asked. A raccoon's penis bone. Oh, I replied, bewildered. I have a eclectic taste, and I guess I'm into 2 of those 3 nouns, but I never expected to hear them all in the same sentence. Does it mean something? No, she smiled. I just saw it and thought you'd like it.
Saw it where?
So now I know where she bought this, the otherwise outstanding Evolution store in New York City.
I was going to say she took it off some roadkill or something.
And this is what she saw, and there's a picture. I think it was just a weird gift.
Nice.
So, yeah, because the other thing is that this is the guy telling the story. Who knows what he's like that somebody would think of him when they see that? What kind of dude is this guy?
I saw a raccoon penis bone. I immediately thought of you.
Yeah, I knew you would like that. What vibes is this dude giving off?
It goes with your collection of all these other animal penis bones you have on your wall.
At work.
You've got them mounted like heads,
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
This here's a whale dong.
Is he a biologist? Nah.
No.
Just collects penis bones from various animals.
Sorry, Holly.
Yeah, sorry, Ollie. Teresa Wright says, my weirdest gift was a coat hanger. A simple coat hanger from Next. My cousin gave it to me. When she left, I couldn't stop laughing. So there you go. Let me see real quick.
That just sounds like she didn't want to spend any money on her cousin.
Okay. I think that's everything. Are you smelling me? Okay. So yeah, that's all I got. There's some other funny ones on this, but pretty sure the raccoon penis is probably the one to end on.
Well, yeah. I mean, given the way that we produce this podcast, I think that's the best place to end.
Sorry, you'll have to maybe cut part of that out if you have time. So.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, I guess it's me. And
who else would it be at this point?
Since Veterans Day is coming up, I thought I'd give us some military and war history.
Sweet.
There's a couple different sources here. This one's from mandatory.com. It's called The 10 Most Hilarious Moments from History. Noah Henry, April 14th, 2016. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to flip through and find some of the ones I thought were funny. During the Napoleonic Wars, Englishmen hang a monkey because they thought it was an actual Frenchman.
What?
Residents of a small northern England town called Hartlepool witnessed a French ship capsize off the coast. They found that everyone on board had died except for a little monkey, which they saw hanging onto a piece of rubbish. Because the monkey was dressed in full French military regalia and as subjects of severe wartime propaganda, the Englishmen believed that the monkey was an actual Frenchman.
Oh my hell.
So they decided to interrogate the furry creature. They brought the monkey ashore and administered a trial. When the monkey wouldn't talk, they assumed it was just being uncooperative. They got fed up and eventually made a makeshift hanging gallows and executed the poor little primate.
Oh my hell.
Today there's a rugby team out of Hartlepool who finally call themselves the Monkey Hangers after that incident.
Oh my hell. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, people like to say that humanity's getting dumber. No, we've always been dumb.
Yes, we have.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's just more prevalent now that we have the internet.
The only war ever declared against animals was the Great Emu War in Australia of 1932.
I do hate that car insurance commercial. Liberty
Limu
Mutual.
Emu.
Yeah.
Following the Great Depression, Australia wanted to make sure their farmers' wheat production was tip-top. One problem, though, was the massive emu infestation across the country. The large flightless birds harmed crops because they ate and spoiled them. Minister of Defense George Pierce assigned ex-World War I soldiers to rid the nation of their problem. How, in the end, though, the emus won.
Oh, man.
In one instance, the soldiers found 1,000 emus grouped together and tried to shoot their machine guns, only to have them jam. Another incident, they installed turrets onto jeeps to chase down the emus, and the emus outsmarted them by fleeing into the bush where the jeeps could not follow. After 6 days and over 2,500 rounds fired and not a single emu had been killed, the minister decided that it was not cost effective to continue the war due to their masterful tactics of escape. And the crestfallen Australian troops had to come to terms with the fact that they lost against birds, flightless birds. Today, there are an estimated 750,000 emus living in Australia, eating whatever the hell they want and mocking the Australian government with every bite.
Like, really? And this goes down in history
Oh, yes.
as an actual war. That's amazing.
The first recorded mooning in history ended up killing thousands.
Of course it did. Why wouldn't it?
In 80 AD, ancient historian Flavius Josephus wrote down what he noted as the first mooning ever. As the story goes, Jewish pilgrims made their way to Jerusalem during Passover. High atop the town parapets were Roman soldiers who kept an eye on the crowds in case they agitated. Tensions were high, and one Roman soldier pulled down his gown and exposed his buttocks and made farting sounds. This caused the Jews to riot. By the time the riot subsided, the overreacting Romans had killed thousands.
Holy.
All because of someone's lily-white ass.
Wow.
I love how that has been recorded by the historian Josephus.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Attila the Hun died of a nosebleed on his wedding night.
Wow.
A man whose life was...
Wait, doesn't that mean something in Japanese anime, the nosebleed? Doesn't that mean, like, arousal?
Does it?
I have no idea.
I think it does. So, anyway.
Oh, so he died of arousal. Good.
Yeah.
Good for him. A man whose life was rife with killing and conquering massive swaths of land died in the most unceremonious of ways. The night he was meant to marry the beautiful Ildiko, his nose bled as he slept, causing him to drown in his own blood.
Sweet.
Some historians believe that Attila, a total party animal, drank too much that night and suffered an exploding hemorrhoid in his esophagus.
Oh.
The ruler of the Huns, a terrifying leader who would wage ruthless campaigns across thousands of miles, died like a bitch. Okay, these ones...
I didn't know I could have hemorrhoids in my esophagus.
In your throat?
Yeah.
This one is from the Kick-Ass Facts Fact Encyclopedia. It's called 25 Funniest Events in History, October 8, 2020. Again, I'll just read some of them. In 1821, Greece was under the control by the Turks. In Greece's fight for independence, a Turkish garrison was besieged by Greek fighters on the Acropolis. When the Turks were running short on bullets, they began to dismantle the marble columns on the Acropolis to use the lead within as bullets. The Greeks were so offended by them dismantling their priceless architecture that they sent their opponents boxes of ammunition with a note that said, "Here are some bullets, please don't touch the columns."
Wow.
Early in the Spanish Civil War, there was a nationalist garrison under siege. Having local air superiority, nationalists decided to airdrop supplies. But rather than using parachutes, they tied the supplies to live turkeys and threw them out of the airplanes.
What?
The turkeys couldn't fly, but they could flap their wings fast enough to slow the packages down, so they were...
Oh, my hell.
Made it to the ground safely. The turkeys themselves died.
Right.
But that was part of the plan because a dead turkey, of course, is food supplies in and of itself.
Happy
It's really brilliant.
Thanksgiving.
We have a new tradition, you guys.
Well, we don't have planes. We're just going to climb on my roof and throw frozen turkeys at people.
That's close enough. I'm in.
The direct cause of World War I was the Archduke Ferdinand of Austria's assassination. What many people don't know is that the initial assassination attempt failed because the assassin didn't know that the grenade he threw under Ferdinand's car had a 10-second timer. So it kept rolling and ended up blowing up the car behind him. It says it gets better.
He's all, my bad.
The assassin, part of a group called the Black Hand, when he was being pursued by authorities for that attempted assassination, tried to take cyanide given to him to kill himself before he could be caught and interrogated. But the cyanide was hopelessly expired, so he just ended up throwing up a bunch. To seal the deal, he tried to drown himself by jumping into a nearby canal, but it was only 2 inches deep. He ended up being captured and tortured.
The Black Hand, huh?
The Black Hand.
Kind of feel sorry for him a little bit. He's like the Mr. Bean of the dark underworld.
So you might be wondering, with all those failed assassination attempts, how did the Archduke actually end up getting assassinated? Well, it was dumb luck. He was assassinated because one of the terrorists stopped in a sandwich shop to buy a sandwich and happened to see him standing there in the same sandwich shop.
Wow.
So pure chance started World War.
You're that guy.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the guy we're looking for.
He's bumbling Dark Hand. Ooh.
Hits him with a baguette.
Roman Emperor Caligula. If you remember, he's the same one who named his horse a senator that I mentioned in several episodes back. He also once waged war against Poseidon.
Like the god of the sea?
Yes. He led 10,000 soldiers to the sea and ordered them to stab it with spears.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
He also once marched his entire army towards the English Channel in an effort to invade Britain. But upon arrival at the channel, he decided that he no longer wished to invade Britain, so he ordered his men to collect seashells before heading home.
Well, I've changed my mind, but gather all of these pretty things. Like, what? People followed these guys.
I think he must have been crazy.
I think so.
Ultimate troll.
Oh, he was. Caligula was crazy.
He was the troll of trolls.
Yeah.
The highest ranking combat death in the Civil War was General J. Sedgwick, whose famous last words were, "They couldn't hit an elephant at this distance," before he was struck under the left eye by a sniper's bullet that killed him.
His ghost is still roaming out there, really pissed off about his last words.
Karma. In the 1300s, some fellows from Modena stole a bucket from Bologna, both cities in Italy, resulting in a great deal of humiliation for the Bolognes. This is called the War of the Bucket. They declared war, had a battle with around 2,000 casualties split between the sides over a bucket, and then failed to even reclaim the bucket. So it was all a complete waste of time.
He whoever so hath the bucket shall rise to... I don't even know what I'm saying.
He is the leader.
Whosoever?
He who controls the bucket controls the universe.
Yes. That's what I wanted to hear.
This last one's called not the last one, but this one's pretty much karma for being mean to dogs. During World War II, the Soviet Union trained dogs to blow up German tanks. This was achieved by starving the dogs and then placing food under tanks, thus conditioning them that food would be found under the tanks.
That's sad.
During the battle, the Russians strapped explosives on the dogs and set them free.
Oh.
The problem is, since the Russians had used their own tanks to train the dogs would run under the Russians' tanks and blow them up instead. The plan was scrapped after 2 days.
That's awesome. Good for those dogs.
Exactly.
Did you say it was the Russians again?
Yeah.
The Russians trying to fight
can they just leave dogs alone, please?
I know, right?
Like, they keep failing miserably.
Yeah. Okay, last one. No mention of wartime ineptitude would be complete without mentioning the British World War I K submarines, nicknamed K-boats, which are widely considered one of the worst designed war machines of all time. They were larger, heavier, and faster than any submarines that came before them, but what they had in speed and size, they lacked in maneuverability. They were virtually impossible to control. K1 sank after colliding with K4 off the Danish coast. K2 caught fire on its first test drive. K3 plunged inexplicably to the seabed with the Prince of Wales on board, eventually resurfacing only to sink again after being rammed by K6.
So they're the Windows Vista of submarines.
Yeah.
K4 ran aground. K5 foundered in the Bay of Biscay. K14 sprang a leak before its first trial, and during one celebrated maneuver in the North Sea, it collided with K22, which used to be K13, but it was renamed after it keeled over at Loch Glare in Scotland while on seaworthiness trials. The crew of that ship were rescued 57 hours later.
Wow.
K14 sank after the last they heard of it, they had given the announcement that it was diving, and then it never resurfaced. K22 was damaged beyond repair after getting in the way of HMS Inflexible, a cruiser that happened to be passing. In the same maneuver, K17 was struck by HMS Fearless, having already been hit by K7, thereby incapacitating itself. On observing this mayhem, K4 stopped engines and altered course to avoid all the mayhem, but it was rammed by K6, which later got stuck on the ocean bed. Better still, K15 sank at Portsmouth Harbor before going anywhere or doing anything. Ks 18, 19, 20, and 21 were never completed, but their keels were modified for use in the new M range, which continued the tradition when M1 was rammed by a merchant vessel while on diving patrol in the channel, and M2 sank after springing a leak. All in all, of the 18 K-boats that were built, none of them were sunk by in actual combat, but 16 of them were disabled, 16 of 18, and 6 of them sank of their own accord with catastrophic death tolls.
That's so sad.
Only one K-boat ever actually ended up engaging an enemy. K7 fired.
Oh, sorry.
K7 fired a single torpedo at a German cruiser, and in true K-boat fashion, the torpedo did not detonate upon impact. So K7 had to turn tail and run away as fast as possible before the German cruiser could retaliate.
It's like,
oh shit.
So that is my wartime history in honor of Veterans Day.
So wait. Which one is the one that dove and never came back?
Is
that K14?
K14.
Like, it'd be funny, like, if K14 just, like, surfaces, like, now.
Like 100 years later.
And they're all fine.
Yeah.
And like, it says a couple hundred sailors died in the 6 boats that sank and weren't recovered. So
that's hilarious. I've never heard of the K-boat, and now I think I know why.
The K-boat story I got from this book I have called the, what's it called? The Not Terribly Good Book of Human Failures or something like that. It's by a British author called Stephen Pyle. I've actually got some of my other stories from past episodes from that book as well.
That's hilarious.
I usually just get the story and look him up in other sources, or I paraphrase him, because his way of writing them down is very straightforward. I think it's often funnier to read it from other sources, but he did a good collection of some funny human mishaps over the years.
Nice.
So I had to give props to him for that. But anyway, that's what I got.
Sweet.
That was really funny.
Yep. Thank you for ending it on a good note.
All right. If you want to send in listener mail, you can do so by going to our Facebook page, Dysfunctional Adults Podcast on Facebook. So that's how we got our messages earlier. We certainly didn't make them up. But go ahead and send them in, and we'll read them on air. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
All right. I love you, Klaus.
All right. See you guys.
Hey, sleep tight, baby.
Thanks, guys.